Hello and welcome back to my bikini prep series. I know the past time I made a video was 2 months ago, and truth be told, this prep in general has just been harder, more rough than my last prep. Usually October to December, the winter arc, I'm all in and I have no issues. But this year, it's been tough. I've had a lot of changes, which reflecting, there are good changes, but it's just been a lot on my plate, doing my regular full-time job, plus starting my business on the side, plus prepping, and then just trying to still stay connected with like family and friends has been tough. So let's get started and talk about my progress update, which you may be able to see a little bit, and all the other stuff that comes with this bikini prep. As far as physique, I really haven't had much change since I think I left off. So I did go do an in-body today, just a few hours, and it seems like my body fat is lower than it's such a mind because I look at myself and I'm like, oh my god, I'm fat, like I'm getting fat, and then I look at myself and other times I'm like, bro, like I'm not even fat, I have muscle. Like I'm like looking at myself right now, I'm like, bro, like I'm not fat, but it's just like I think I just have like high expectations, high standards, which is being super lean. So I look at myself and I'm like, oh, I'm not there. But those times I just have to like remind myself, like, yeah, that's not healthy and you're at a good spot. So today's in-body helped me just like recollect my thoughts and tell me like, okay, even though sometimes I feel like I am heavier or have more body fat than I want to, I actually don't, and I put on a good amount of muscle, which is good, but at the same time maybe not good. If it is coming from my lower body, that is obviously good, because bikini, the goal is to have more rounder glutes, so that's what I've been trying to achieve. But I also realized that I'm still doing my upper body, and sometimes when I'm doing upper body I will go heavy. So I'm telling myself that I'm going to obviously still do upper body, but just stick to the super light weights, because I don't want to bulk up. Like that is not the physique goal that I have for now. In terms of physique, not a lot of changes. I'll go ahead and post my front profile, my side, and my back profile just for check-in. But yeah, and then as far as weights and measuring, I haven't had much change, so I'll post that up here. My goal now is, I feel like I've been having a lot of changes these past few months, but now I'm like ready to lock in. I'm still a little nervous because I'm still going through some changes this week, and after this week I feel like it'll be hopefully much smoother in terms of like the personal changes that are happening. My goal is to stick with my meal plan. I just have to make sure that I stick to it and I don't eat off of it. So sometimes my family makes food and it's good and it's tempting, and I'm like, I have time and I need to stop. I'm like paying my mom to meal prep for me, so now I have like more time for myself, so I'm delegating that. In terms of physique, not much changes. And then as far as training, it's been tough, not because, so I've been having issues with my car. So I've been borrowing cars, and that has made it challenging in terms of like figuring out when I'm going to go to the gym. And I don't think I've been slacking really. No, training, honestly, just thinking about it, it hasn't been bad. I'm sticking to my training, doing good. But I do think, like I said, for my training, I'm going to do lighter weights for upper body, and I'm going to add cardio. I wanted to do 30 minutes every day, but I think because this week is still changes, I don't want to be overly ambitious and then be disappointed. So my goal is to do on my rest days 45 to 60 minutes of cardio. So every day I'm going to be doing something, whether it's actual strength training, part of my plan, or if I'm doing my 45-60 minutes of cardio. Really, I want to get to those 10,000 steps a day. But again, I don't want to be overly ambitious. As far as macros, I'm also not doing much change right now. I am doing, let me see, I'm at the 1700 mark for my calories, and then I'm doing 145 grams of protein, 36 grams of fat, and 205 grams of carbohydrates. So 34, 19, and 47% respectively. I haven't done changes. 3 weeks ago, I was like, okay, I'm gonna lock in, and I was locked in, and I started shedding fat. I was like, damn, stick to the plan, and it works. So, but then the next 2 weeks stuff happened and it backtracked me. But I know that this macro plan, as long as I stick to it and I do my cardio, will work for me. So again, I will just adjust next week, but I'm not going to be making any changes from what I was doing. However, one thing that I did notice this week is for my pre-workout snack, I only have some quick carbs. So that's one thing that I have. Oh, I'm realizing last time I made a video, my meals were completely different. So let's go over that. So when I was doing my plan, I was having a hard time with that pre-workout snack because previously I was doing rice cakes, I believe, and an apple. And when it came to the rice cakes, to consume the amount of carbs that I needed for my pre-workout, it was too much, and the rice cakes were dry, so it just wasn't the most appealing pre-workout meal to have. Like, I was struggling to have it, so I was trying to think like, okay, what else can I add? And what I've been doing and has been working for me are pretzels. So I have been doing pretzels. I buy a big bag and I portion those out. I will say it's working. However, because I do buy a big bag, whenever I am feeling extra hungry, sometimes I will go downstairs and find those extra pretzels and eat them. So that's kind of like the cons of it. But if I stick to my discipline, and my mom actually, she prepped the whole bag, like she just portioned it all out. So she's like, they're all portioned out. So now I'm like, okay, well, that's good, because that doesn't mean, before I would be like, oh, that's leftovers, like let me sneak some in. But now I'm like, okay, I guess that'll help me. I don't have to be buying a bag every week, and that's smarter. So that's one of the changes that I made. And then one of the meals that I was doing previously, which is my meal 2, if I have that right, I was doing egg whites with something, but I did not have a fun time meal prepping egg whites and eating reheated egg whites. Like, I just felt like it was too much. I was like, hey, I need to find an alternative. And I went back to what I was doing my prep last year, which was a shake. The reason I took off the shake is because I was trying to go dairy free, so I took off the yogurt. Again, just like reassessing and thinking how the egg white meal was working, I was like, I'd rather do a shake come in dairy. So I did put dairy back into my meals, and that yogurt smoothie, I'm doing Greek yogurt, and then I'm adding my peanut butter powder for some extra protein and flavor. I'm adding some cacao powder for flavor, and then 2 dates for my carbs and to sweeten it up, along with some banana, 80 grams of banana. And what I've actually been doing, so I was doing 80 grams of banana, and that would work because for my meal 1, which is my oatmeal, my protein shake, I will do some banana, and it's not always a full banana because it's certain grams. So the leftovers, I would like collect it and then put it in the shake. But what I've been doing recently is also buying a bag of frozen banana and strawberries from Aldi's, and it's just also a good way to fill in the carb portions for that banana in that meal. And I love the shake. Again, it works. I do have to prep it every night, and I will say sometimes I don't, so I have to be better on that. But I love that meal. It's working. I'm going to keep it. So no more rice cakes. We're doing pretzels and apples, and then no more egg whites. We're doing that Greek yogurt chocolate smoothie, and I'm still continuing my ground turkey with brown rice and veggies, and then my chicken, sweet potatoes, and veggies, and then my salad at the end with no carbs. So those are my meals and the changes that I have made with my meals. But aside from that, nothing else, nothing new. So yeah, overall these past 2 months, I've just honestly been struggling with motivation, with discipline, and a little bit with that, but also just things in my personal life that are happening, and I feel sometimes a little bit overwhelmed, which kind of plays into me feeling a bit unmotivated. Yeah, it's been challenging. And again, the physique part, I think it's funny because when I was doing my last show, I was tanning with the girls and we were talking about like our experience, and everybody was saying how like the dieting was hard, and I was like, oh, I'm happy that I do have like a good relationship with food before I started this, or else it would have been bad. Like, that is still true. But then I don't know why this prep, I just feel like, I don't know, like super more, I feel like I'm more dieting. Like I feel like my discipline isn't as strong as it was last prep. So that is something that I'm battling. And I don't know if it's, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. But yeah, it's just been, honestly speaking, it's been tough, but this is part of the sport. Now I've just kind of been waiting for like things to happen. I'm hoping to get my car back. Once I get my car back and after this week, I'm gonna be for sure locked in. I still am going to be locked in, but I am going to be realistic and know that there's some things that might set me back. So I'm gonna give myself enough grace for that. But that's pretty much it for this check-in. I hope I didn't forget anything. Actually, I did. Show day. I was planning on doing a show in March. Based on my current physique, I am not ready for a show next month. So I am pushing that out into the later months, sometime in summer. And right now my goal is to prep basically for the next 14 weeks, which would put me at the beginning of June. So cuts and prep for June, and then as much as I can. And then after that, I do want to get a coach just to do the last stretch and then do a show sometime in the summer. So I don't know, I kind of have an idea which show I want to make, but I'm a little bit superstitious and don't want to disclose that yet. But that's another change. So no show March, and right now my mentality is prep until the beginning of June. So technically I am 14 weeks out of my goal, and then depending how we're at, and also when I get to that point, I get a coach, what they say, that'll determine the show day. But right now it's just prep, getting ready as best as I can on my own, and then we'll see. Thank you so much for joining today and watching this check-in video. I'm gonna try to keep doing it on a weekly basis. I don't want to make any promises, but thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Toodaloo!